take care of myself immaculately and listen to my body's needs, even when it's inconvenient? Okay? Do I always listen to that little voice inside me that tries to guide me? Do I know exactly what to eat to keep my body fueled up and happy? Does everybody know what kind of gas to put in their car? We all know that one, right? Okay. Do I feel turned on, and passionate about my life 90% of the time? And I know there's bad days, but are most of them awesome?
Can I get a copy of these?
Yeah. Do I get plenty of sleep each night and wake up feeling refreshed and perfectly rested? I know, girl. I'm like, if only, right? Is it easy for me to treat my body like the temple that it is? Is it easy, right? This morning's first speaker is here to shine a light on how to follow your divine feminine intuition that each of us was born with and has to help us fulfill our dreams. Beautiful lives of grace, love, and joy. And in order to do that, we really need to know how to take care of ourselves. He's my personal doctor, a certified clinical chiropractic neurologist, and the best-selling author of The Pillars of Wellness. He has been operating in his gift and genius for over 10 years and has helped thousands of people. Who would like to know his amazing formula for honoring your body, mind, soul, and spirit and bring yourself as your best to every day? Yeah, I know. Me too. I'm like, please. Without further ado, ladies, please help me give a warm welcome to Dr. Matt Chalmers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you doing this.
Absolutely. Thank you. Here.
Oh, I can take that.
Yeah. All right. So there's two things I wanted to echo real quick. The hardest question of why is the basis for everything that I do. And so when I coach, when I talk to people, one of the big questions I always ask is why. The other thing I always tell them is that you're paying me to piss you off. Because if I don't say things that hurt and anger you, I'm not pushing you outside your comfort zone. So if I do say something, this one's a little bit more tame than what I do when I talk personally. But if there's something in here that irritates you or makes you uncomfortable, write it down because we need to figure out why. Because lots of times if something bothers you, it's because it goes against something that's preset in your emotion, and we need to figure out where that upset is. And so we can kind of go through and kind of figure out where that is. Yep, I'm Dr. Chalmers, and we've been doing stuff for a long time. The place where we started with the concierge, we ended up where I had a guy come to the office, 60, 62, somewhere in there, just sold his business for a little over $20 million. And he had, in my opinion at the time, was all the money in the world, and he was still young. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. What are you gonna do? I said, I go to Italy. There's this World War II thing where you start in Normandy and you start going to go up, and he goes, stop. He goes, my knees hurt so bad when I get to the top of the stairs, I have to sit down and rest. He said, when I walk the dogs around the block, I get tired and I gotta sit down and rest. He said, I'm not going to Italy. He said, there's some restaurants I wanna do and there's some shows I wanna watch, and so that's what I'm gonna do. And I went, oh, all right, cool. And I left the room and I kind of freaked out a little bit because I was like, this guy is super young, has all the money in the world, and he's sold his health for what he has now, and now he has nothing left. And so I freaked out because I was on that path. And I was like, okay, how do I not be that guy? How do I not get the cancer? How do I not have the heart attacks? And so I started looking into that more or less for me to kind of move forward. All right, so one of the biggest things that we always want to talk about, and I'm going to echo again what Alicia said, everyone's an individual. It's funny because I was doing a podcast or interview or something, and somebody asked me who the smartest person I knew was. And I thought about it for a second. It was kind of an interesting question because I'm really good at what I do, and my business partner Jason is probably one of the best business people I've ever met, and I love Jason. But I can't code. I'm terrible at that. And Jason can't talk to people. He's not autistic, but we were at a business meeting trying to get these guys, and we hadn't even poured the wine yet, and we literally just sat down. He's like, we're not going to invest in your company, your business name sucks, and we have to change your business name or else we're not going to do anything else. And I was like,
I love him.
yes, so they're changing their name, we've bought their company, and we're moving forward because he's good. But it's kind of one of those things of, we all have things we're great at, and we all have things we're not great at. So if we can lean into the things that we're really, really good at and then hire someone, like you said, to do the things that we're not the best at, that works out really, really, really well. So this is one of the things that's really, really good for all of my execs, all of my entrepreneurs, all my high-level people. We push ourselves really, really, really hard. So this goes back to the Ferrari comment. It's, if you guys are pushing yourself as hard as you are, then you're gonna burn out faster. You guys have all chosen to do more. You guys have all chosen to take on the extra stress of having employees, of dealing with people, of dealing with everything. Everything is now your responsibility. That means you get all the reward, but you guys burden all of the stress. The other problem is that you're all women. And the reason I say that is because, and I have a full mom lecture that I give, and I'll give you a little piece of it. Women generally start off better than men. You guys are nicer, more caring, more loving, and then if you guys end up becoming mothers, that becomes massively, massively grown. And so now you take care of stray animals, stray people, your kids, your friends' kids, kids' friends, random people. And if there's any time at the end of the day left, you might possibly think about taking care of you, which is great. You guys are great servants, and that's fantastic. But the problem we run into is that you're the glue that holds everything together. You are the linchpin of the family, of the workplace, of everything. You guys will take on more than you guys ever should. The problem with that is that when you go down, everything falls apart around you. So it's the most important person that y'all can take care of is you first, then everybody else. Put your mask on, then take care of everybody else. Because if you push yourself too hard, there's not gonna be anything else left for you guys to do. So, when we talk about fuel, we're gonna talk a little bit about biochemistry, and the biggest thing we always talk about is people come up to me and they go, I've tried to do this keto thing, or I've tried to do this vegan thing, and my best friend Susie's having a great job with it, and I can't make it work. Your fuel and their fuel might be radically different. So you're an individual, and so remember that. And so we might just need to figure out what works best for you, and so you can't model you off somebody else. So when we talk about exactly what it is I do for Bespoke Wellness Care, we've now stepped out. A lot of people who are at this level get to step above the normal. Normally in Western medicine, the way that we work is that you come in and you have a problem and you say, I feel terrible and I feel like this. Then that allows us to make a diagnosis. That diagnosis allows us to then look for specific tests, then come back and say, this is why you feel bad. This is why so many people are horrible, sick, dying, and miserable. Because we didn't figure out, why are you gonna feel bad in 5 years? Let's prevent that from happening today, and then you won't feel bad in 5 years. So that's what really, at the nut of it, that's what Bespoke Care is that we look at you as a person, what you're doing, where you're going, your psychology, your spirit, everything, and say, okay, here's the path to keep you healthy in the next 20, 30 years. And so that's really what we're looking at. So when you see these things, we talk about some of this stuff that you've never heard before, that's why. This is a completely different level of taking care of yourself. So I want to talk about cancer versus heart attack. Who here have heard of the rate of death from breast cancer in the room? You guys have breast cancer, it's not a great thing? Yeah. We hear about it all day, every day. We talk about it apparently because in Western medicine, it's run mostly by men and we really like boobs and we don't want you guys to die. It's a big deal. These are women's numbers. These aren't men's. 41,000 die from breast cancer a year. 300,000 die from heart attacks. If we don't start taking care of your hearts, we're gonna have a major, major problem. If we spent half the money on heart issues that we spend on breast cancer, that number would be in the 40s. I can guarantee you because there's tests that we don't run that would make it really easy to prevent all of this death. I don't know why we haven't been telling people this. I've been telling people this for a long time. I have medical doctor friends of mine who have never heard some of the things I tell them. It's not your fault that you don't know this. It's our fault for not telling you. So I'm telling you. If you haven't had these tests run, you don't have to do them with me. Just go back, find somebody who'll do them. You're gonna have to pay for them, but it's valuable.